Your pet Mechanical has been something of a nuisance lately. She bludgeoned me on multiple occasions, and earlier she came at me with a live electrical prod. I suspect I should be annoyed, yet I find myself nostalgic. It reminds me of my Academy pain tolerance seminars, minus the broken fingers.
I recall this place. These stations have been automated since my day, though this one has certainly accrued dust. Odd. Odd that it would be in a state of lockdown. I have a general override that should allow us entry, but anything specific to local systems, including security systems, may be beyond me. What in places? These security measures should not be operational, and the station seems to be on reserve power. We'd best tread carefully.
Our commander hangs from a thread!
I recall this place. These... These stations have been automated since my day, though this one has certainly accrued dust. Odd that it would be in a state of lockdown. I have a general override that should allow us entry, but anything specific to local systems, including security systems, may be beyond me. These security measures should not be operational, and the station seems to be on reserve power. We best tread carefully. Be a most ignoble place to end our day.
Keep your butt within, Commander! Your vitals look grim, Commander.
Let us proceed with due haste. Well, no one is here, lying in ambush. Perhaps some stray systemic error activated the entryway defenses. We'd best first report to security ops. Lift this lockdown. From there, we can set about reactivating the station's primary power, which will allow us to explore unhindered. It seems our intelligence was correct. There's clearly a door here, and I would hazard that we'll be able to open it somewhere on station. We should make sure the station is at full power. If there's an override, that's the only way it will work. Let us go. I feel a strange sense of nostalgia being here, and I do not enjoy it. Footprint in the dust? This station shouldn't have received visitors in years. Be on guard. Someone else may be here. My passcode shall not work on this terminal. Unlocking it may be a creative endeavor. station in the reactor room. Corroded transistors, dust in the actuator. Did a sprat gnaw on this? Sweet sovereign, what a mess. There. I think I have it. Let us hope my override does not trigger any security alerts. Good. This should avail us of a much simpler search. Let us return to the central room once more and see if anything seems out of place.
I shall reduce them to a flurry.
Cannot say I have had to search for a hidden switch in a protectorate holding before. Keep watch. It could be rather small and well hidden.
Yeah.
There. I'm certain of movement below.
Passcode is Limber. Now, let's try Amulet. No, Wingtip. Now, Sovereign's Gavel. I should remember this, damn it! Ambergris can't be it. That's too short for a facility like this. Wait. Oh, no.
Of the strategies of feigning innocence I have seen, this is certainly the most pathetic. I accuse you of trespassing upon the private domain of the Sovereign. For these crimes... Wait, I know you. Luther Okada? What in blazes are you doing here? And why do you wear a Sub Rosa uniform?
Because I work for Sub Rosa? More than that, I don't think I can say, Cadet Rao. Mostly because I'm not supposed to, but also because I can't remember.
It is, but it's more strange than anything. I knew this man a long time ago, and he seems to have changed. Okada is, or was, a petty troublemaker, though a crafty one. As cadets, Virgil and I apprehended him often. Sometimes Virgil let him go, but he usually went to mental refreshment.
Often enough to know the technicians by name. Until I forgot them again.
This This truly is no ploy. But mental refreshment is supposed to return wayward subjects to the proper path, not cause whatever this is. Despite his faults, the Okada I knew was ultimately benign. But the fact remains that he now trespasses in a secure facility. Duty dictates that I must execute him. That's a wise path. One that shall give me time to contemplate what must be done.
An arbiter used the word execute in the last few seconds, yet I remain alive? Didn't think that was possible. He and the other one must have put me away close to 12 times each. I used to be something of a ne'er-do-well.
Ne'er-do-well is a polite term. He was a repeat malefactor. I believe last time we met, he'd vandalized a janitorial automech in an attempt to make it spew profanity.
I got 18 months of hard labor for that. Served me right.
That's interesting, but it must be false. Sub Rosa is a large organization. Whoever asked for Okada must have wanted him specifically. But why?
I didn't used to be like this. I can still sneak with the best of them. Not being able to remember doesn't make me any worse as an agent. It doesn't.
Any of my fellow arbiters would have killed you before this conversation began. But I can't decide whether to disdain or pity you.
I was sent here to do a specific job, but some of the details are hazy. Gives me conniptions. I was hired by an anonymous third party. They provided me with the station's location and credentials to bypass its defenses. May have tripped a few on my way here. Can't recall. I was told the station was abandoned, which it clearly isn't, and to break into this terminal and delete the information on it. That is all I know. I don't even know the name of this station.
Ignorance does not excuse criminal action. Even if you did not know the severity of this infiltration, it remains a deadly serious infraction. I don't know that I can. He is a trespasser. His slipping mind matters not. My duty dictates it. Killing Okada may not affect the one who hired him, but his trespass is an indelible fact. He should not be here. That doesn't mean anything. An arbiter cannot trespass. And even if I could, I still act with the Protectorate's best interests in mind. Not out of some base self-interest. Were the situation different, perhaps I could look the other way. But Okada has clearly defected, and is thus not afforded such a luxury. I am familiar with the concept, but in the Protectorate, intent matters little. Manslaughter still results in death. Sedition can happen unconsciously, just as it may consciously. We are presented with the rules by our leaders. If the rules are not there, we are not to follow them. That is how I was taught. Though this is hardly the place for a discussion about Protectorate law, I do at least see your point. It is fortunate you have gained my trust, or I would not bend to one who had not. Justice must serve a purpose. Be gone. You've been granted your final stay of execution. Should our...
I didn't think this would happen. Thank you, Cadet Rao. My apologies for all the strife I caused over the years. And you. Without you, I would have been reduced to my composite parts. Here, take these. I suppose you'll have more use for them than I, in my present state.
Allowing a Sub Rosa agent to leave with his life in the heart of a protectorate station. We may have to speak on this further. But let us see what we came here for first. The hint pertaining to the passcode on that terminal. I believe I know the answer. It is contained in a phrase the Supreme Arbiter drilled into our heads for many years. An Arbiter's gavel is judgment, and an Arbiter's scalpel is analysis. From that terminal, it sounds as if the Supreme Arbiter had some sort of business with the Consul. To what end, I wonder? The tone of her response seemed relaxed, but I do not believe she would have met with the Consul unless she had no other choice. And that feckless agent. I don't understand his aim or who he would be working for. Only the Consul. But the Protectorate does not ally itself with Sub Rosa. I couldn't imagine the Consul pinning his duties on someone so clearly out of sorts as our recently departed friend. Besides, he has his own agents. Well, at least we found what we needed on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I only hope what... As for Okada, my decision to allow him to go free was at odds with all I have been taught. He was a traitor and should have died. Yet, I cannot help but feel... strangely justified. My role does not allow for mercy. I am supposed to uphold the Protectorate's laws. How can I claim thus if I allowed a traitor to go free? To me, there cannot be. That is, there isn't. That's not altogether, I think visiting this station was fruitful for my ultimate task. Hopefully we'll... And, circumstances aside, I appreciate your accompanying me here, Commander. It means...
It would appear our next stop is Praetor, specifically Central Control. I look forward to traveling there, once you've sufficiently prepared. No. The Sentinel worked on the Consul's behalf. I do note that the agent was an odd wrinkle, but that still does not fly in the face of what I believe. Potentially. In the past, the locale was shared equally between us Arbiters and the Consul's Sentinels. However, considering the traitors crawling throughout the rest of Arcadia, I fear what duplicity the Consul may have wrought at Central Control. Excellent. Why would the Supreme Arbiter have met with the Consul? Ah, no use speculating. We'll know soon enough.
What do you need, Commander?
Moment of your time, Commander. Remember that matter on Cloister I mentioned earlier? Well, since we're here and all, thought we might take it up now. Might be hard to believe, but 20 or so odd years ago, I made a mistake. Feels like high time I righted it. Now I'm out and about again. For many years now, a former colleague of mine's been in a remote spot called Reasons Pass, on account of my decision. I try not to think about regret or remorse. I shut down her work. I was wrong. Stating that out loud is the furthest extent of my self-castigation. Her research was unconventional, surely. She was as well. I think with both, we could right things, get the Order back on its intended path. Do appreciate it.
What could possibly be keeping the repair personnel so long? Oh, greetings. By any chance, did you happen to encounter the repair personnel I dispatched to Resistor Bank 2789B12? Our new JTY-1030 resistor banks are built with enough durability to suffer through a tremendous amount of misuse. But the brutish handling by the Protectorate is too much for it. The misuse is causing moisture uptake, which causes the resistors to give off more heat. In the snow, that means more moisture, which means even more. I'm sure you can observe that the problem is cyclical in nature. I don't suppose you'd be willing to aid me in fixing this? In the short term, I loathe that, for now, our actions may aid the Protectorate. But we must, Ursopods, Protectorate forces, rogue scrappers, blizzards, mantisaurs, maybe even Auntie's choice forces. Truly a smorgasbord of unfortunate options. It's down in the valley just southwest of the Archive. The heat has liquefied all the snow off the glass surface. It is an easy location to observe. Oh, this is most... I'll mark the court if you find...
Quite conducive for cooling the Archive, and unconducive for me feeling my fingers.
I find your proposed time frame leisurely. Unaccountably so.
But going any faster grossly increases the threat of collapse. Burying us beneath the snow benefits no one.
So long as we are operating within.
Happy to chat for 0.07 seconds.
I suppose I could spare 0.04% of my daily cycle to say hello. Oh, hello. Please don't take me on a cotangent.
Can't talk. Calculating an inverse complex sine function in my head.
Have you at least determined the cause of the avalanche?
We're presently observing a ceasefire with Auntie's choice, but its duration may be subject to sudden reversal. Would hate for you to get caught in any crossfire. See that giant glowing structure in the distance there? That's the Archive's main entry point. However, I'd caution you to give it a wide berth. The Archive's under Protectorate control, and they mean to keep it. You'll not gain access without serious military support. Are you in a high-risk life expectancy bracket? Because everything you're saying is precisely what I'd expect to hear from someone determined to lower the average. You and me both, friend. Cloister has been a difficult front, and losing the Archive, first to the invaders and now to the Protectorate, has made it even more painful. If you're looking for a way to help us out, I recommend heading to Laplace's garden. Follow this path and you can't miss it. Only the finest place on this ice ball. Words aren't sufficient to capture its many quality attributes. Best you observe it yourself. avalanche collapsed part of the tunnel to the garden, so the safest path is along the cliffside here. Mind your step.
Hello. Farewell. Thank you for this efficiently compact conversation.
Please, don't distract me from my more pressing distractions.
The plan is always in motion, so move along.
Show your work or shove off.
Straight, soldier.
Try not to deviate from the norm.
To a bit of trepidation in regards to opening mine. This is the first one I've received since deployment.
Honestly, the ones you get in the field are lifesavers. I would have been dead 3 times over without mine.
Oh, that does set my mind at ease. Now, let's see. Mine says, don't consume tea this morning. Oh.
You already consumed this morning's tea, haven't you?
Yes.
What is with the anomalous behavior?
Stop deviating from the baseline. Well, aren't you the eccentric sort? What is with the anomalous behavior? Well, aren't you the eccentric sort?
Please keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Are you going to be a problem? Because I have a solution that requires very little computation.
barricades. Reckon I ought to step away?
Heard that rift near the Halt! The Oracle Laureate sent ahead to expect someone matching your description. However, he said nothing about admitting questionable allies. Members of Auntie's Choice are not permitted inside Laplace's garden. Your companion...
Huh. If only one of us could have foreseen this situation. But I'll stay back, Commander.
You should heed the wisdom of your friend. Is this some kind of test? No participants or observants are permitted. You'll discover all you need once inside. After ridding yourself of your problematic... Laureate Beckett did impress the importance of not delaying you. Very well, head on in. But behave yourselves. The garden is something of a fragile ecosystem.
Impressed as I am that worked, I ain't sure about this. Being vastly outnumbered by the enemy ain't a corner I like to be backed into.
Agent, what do you need? May all our...
Agent, I have a message for you. On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding bishop is presently indisposed, but I've been instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing matter has brought you to the garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. Oh no, not at all. The presiding bishop routinely spends time in a sensory deprivation chamber to hone her mental faculties. Of course, she does seem to be logging more hours in the chamber of late. But I'm certain that the rest of the Laureate Council is capable of managing affairs while the presiding bishop is occupied. Really, it's no reason for concern. Nothing in the garden is. Oh, yes. The vicar did ask me to direct you to him. How positively forgetful of me. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard at the top of the stairs. Belvedere Hall used to serve primarily as the garden's hub for all manner of research, instruction, and study. A beacon on the hill of progress. Since the Order's forced dispossession of Spyreton and the Archive, many spaces within the hall have been repurposed to serve as a temporary headquarters. Which is to say, please excuse our mess. We're still remodeling. Look around you. I don't see a battlefield. Do you? I'm quite sure I don't know what refugees you're referring to. I fear our conversation has drifted from its central thesis. Continuing, can I help answer any other queries for you? The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of Applied Scientism, overseeing the exemplars, or craftsmen, of our order. Weapons and technology all fall under her purview. May all your... Enjoy your time in the Agent, I have a message for you. On behalf of she's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. Oh, of course, the rest of the Laureate Council is capable of managing affairs. Look around you. I don't see a battlefield. Do you? I'm quite sure I don't know what refugees you're referring to. I fear our conversation has drifted from its central thesis. Continuing along this current trajectories, can I help answer any other queries for you? The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of... Oh, yes! The Vicar... Belvedere Hall used to serve primarily... Which is to say, please, may...
Feels real nice in here. Wouldn't mind us dragging our feet so we can enjoy the warmth a little longer.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. That's your third conviction today. People will start to worry.
Caffeine is proven to lead to many positive health and research outcomes.
Welcome to the CAF integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today? Regrettably, no. Our most recent studies show that such a combination is too potent for most scholars to handle.
was selected today based on its arithmetic-based harmonic progressions. My name is Edmund Vandersmythe, and I am the senior tenured laureate of the Tertiary Adjunct School of Numismatics for the Order of the Ascendant. Today's lecture will focus on the generation of prime numbers, effectively and uses thereof. I know. Prime numbers. Why so simplistic? Well, consider this a basic refresher course in remedial numismatics for those new to the order. I will start by explaining what a prime number is, despite the fact that you should have known that definition decades ago while still in diapers. But no matter. I have been called many things, and repetitious is one of them. I have also been called redundant several times. Once I was called reiterative. So, prime numbers. What are they? The simplest definition is this. Given the set of natural numbers greater than 1, let's call that set n2, then a prime is any number in the set n2 that is not itself a product of two other numbers in the set n2. A simple definition. Elegant, even uplifting, almost ascendant, you could say, but not redundant. Side note, I am frequently asked why isn't one of prime numbers divided other than itself? And the answer is simple, you silly lay person. Because with such an inclusion to the definition of a prime number, then nothing else would be a prime number. And then what good are prime numbers? Wait, you ask, what good are prime numbers? Why would we want to find and use prime numbers? There are all kinds of abstract number theory applications, and that should and would be sufficient reason to want them. But there are also, say, practical applications, such as maintaining the security of bit cartridges. In fact, our archive uses primes for that reason and many more. The archive incorporates prime numbers for storage and retrieval on its ultra-efficient system of data banks, as well as using prime numbers in the process of checking its memory stores for corruption, lest its calculations be tainted by such. But if you strive to become a numismatics researcher, there are several open questions in the area of prime number study. One such question is this: is every even member of the set n2 besides 2 a sum of 2 primes? It seems to be so. But no one has ever proven this conjecture. Similarly, are there an infinite number of prime pairs that differ by only 2 in their value? That seems unlikely, but we have been unable to find an upper limit. Perhaps you could discover one of these brutes and become the next senior tenured laureate of the Tertiary Adjunct School of Numismatics for the Order of the Ascendant. Such a lofty, and dare I say, elegant goal. Good dispositions to you all, and good day.
Oh, undoubtedly. Looks can be deceiving, after all. Nevertheless, much as I might enjoy watching your thesis borne out, we must abide by the protocols of the Garden. Alas. Convictions are statements which promote personal and professional confidence and well-being, leading to 22.9% more scientific breakthroughs in a given quarter. Interested? Before I can administer your conviction, I need to ask you a question. In what area of your life do you feel you need the most improvement? Personal or professional?
Sure. You're perfectly you.
Personal it is. Your substantial ego provides the confidence needed to achieve in ways large and small. It most certainly will not prevent you from forming healthy relationships in the future. Is that right? You'd be the first to admit as much. You know, I'm actually nearing the end of my shift. If you're amenable to continuing our chat somewhere more private, I think we could both benefit. Right this way. You must be curious why I asked for such a discreet rendezvous. Allow me to whet your appetite for intrigue a little further, shall I? I have adequate reason to believe the Order is conducting a mass experiment on the population of Laplace's garden. The Order is not cultivating its perfect, plan-abiding society through careful ideological pruning, as the laureates would have you believe. It's simple pharmacology. Put bluntly, they're regulating the emotions of everyone in Laplace's garden through drugs in the water supply. Why would the Order want to create a society of undistractable little academics whose only desire is to advance the plan? I wonder. One could make that argument, and obviously have. The Order claims the subjects here supposedly consented to participate, but it was begun prior to the schism with the Protectorate, so who's to say? Regardless, if the Order has made some kind of pharmaceutical breakthrough, imagine how useful it might be to certain parties to know about it in advance. I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug. Interested? So you've heard of us. Good. That makes this easier. My primary task has been to watch the Order. But I'm confident my superiors would agree. Physical proof is of far greater value than mere rumor. No. This is about control. Everything is. Most see this as a war of survival. But what everyone's really fighting for is control over the narrative. To be declared victor and have their vision for Arcadia deemed superior. It follows that a drug capable of suppressing discontent could also be used to suppress greater forms of resistance. That's all. Nothing nefarious, if that's the needle in your conscience. We only mean to study the drug and consider all of its many applications. I know that must read as terribly vague to you, but I'm not at liberty to provide more detail than that. Well, I'm not asking you to do something an honest person would. Think of this as a business transaction, if that eases your mind. All you need to do is enter water reconditioning and collect a sample of the drug. I believe they call it Perspective. This passcode will give you access to the main terminal. Watch the guards patrol before making your way into the facility. If worst comes to worst, I wager Laureate Beckett also has a keycard on him, but that might be tricky to lift. Lately, he's been sitting near the fountains, performing his silly little breathing exercises. If he's not there, then he's likely in conference with the presiding bishop. Whatever you do, be discreet. I can't have any laureates asking questions about me. Understood? What? No, absolutely not. To both suggestions. I'm asking you to be strategic, not homicidal. Pick his pocket if you must. Outside of work, I have, let's call it an alternative inventory. You'll have to pay, of course, but I'm sure I have something that'll make your job a little easier. And I'd like to offload...
What a lamentable state of affairs.
A second makeup exam will not be offered, so I hope you studied this time, Brian.
I'm here to maintain security, not to teach you remedial calculus.
I remember the days when Laplace's garden lived up to its estimable purpose. Now look at it. The fountain in disrepair, pedagogy in the park, even the lights above our heads have winked out like stars taken down from the sky. Nevertheless, one must persist. The plan is good. The shadow of ignorance cannot withstand its light. I knew you had a knowledgeable look about you. That would be wonderful. Thank you, dear. There's a panel just here. I will supervise from a respectable distance, but know that I am with you in theory, like the architect's own guiding hand.
If you need to discharge any sputum, I ask you kindly aim such accretions away from my general direction. Thank you. No, not dead. Not yet. Nor imminently, one hopes. I am merely waiting. I have no idea. Sometime last year, I predetermined an occasion of momentous import would happen today, right here, at these very coordinates. Oh no. You know what they say about having too many totalizers on the same sum? Nothing gets solved. All the more reason I rely on my own math these days. Less room for error. Leslie Beckett, Oracle Laureate, Seer Supreme, leader of the Department of Predictive Analysis, and not terribly good at informal introductions, evidently. Forgive me if I don't shake hands. I prefer to keep my skin microbiome free of exogenetic cells. You understand. But now, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the agent we've been expecting. I knew loitering at this location would yield results. I don't suppose you've stumbled upon any of our excogitation chapels around Cloister by chance? Excogitation chapels are order residencies where one can meditate in solitude on specific theorems relating to the plan. They're scattered all around Cloister. Prior to the war, such focused study led to all manner of breakthroughs, with audio logs routinely kept by the scientician in residence. In these unprecedented times, such logs could harbor hidden wisdom. However, with the war on, I've sadly been unable to get my hands on the last of these recordings. All confidential, I'm afraid. Many are still under peer review, but I can assure you, their value is commensurate with, why, the discovery of gravity, or has the potential to be. Oh no, I couldn't possibly ask you to endanger yourself by seeking out these logs. Cloister is rather treacherous, and some of the chapels are difficult to reach by design. However, if you happened upon these chapels and recovered these logs, I would most certainly be interested in their contents. By my reckoning, the amount of logs to be collected is 4. You have that? 4. No more, no less. Each chapel should have at least one somewhere inside. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. How do you know about that? I mean, that is quite the allegation. I deny it effusively.
Have an intellectually stimulating day.
Lift access is currently restricted.
Your admittance to the Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning may come at a later date, as determined by the Office of the Oracle Laureate.
At this time, residents of Laplace's Garden are not permitted on.
Hey! Only security personnel are permitted in this booth. Leave. Please.
You know, I thought the Abbot and Matriarch's mercy was out of touch.
What is with the anomalous behavior?
Smart researchers patronize the science.
Every day. The operating theater is not conducting viewing dissections at this time. That is not an invitation to return to your study and perform exploratory surgery on yourself or a willing volunteer, just to be clear. Not as concerning as some of the scenes I have been called to in the middle of the night. I assure you, the warning is justified. But I trust you are here for a reason other than to discuss scalpel-happy novices. Obviously. Do you think we drink unfiltered snow melt? I'm quite sure I have no knowledge of what you're talking about. I don't care. Is there anything else I can assist you with? That is better.
Welcome to the Scientician Surplus. I am the scientician in question. Any inquiries about the stock may be directed to me. Of course you would. You are here for a reason? Please.
Strange to see all this vacant space after the overcrowding at Matriarch's Mercy. Plenty of room for refugees here, if only the Order administrants got their act together.
Please, don't take me on a cotangent.
How did your hypothesis about the flowers fare?
Exposing them to melodic sound waves on a consistent basis did affect improvements on their overall growth.
And you controlled for the amount of carbon dioxide expelled from your mouth during these musical sequences?
More testing may be required.
Keep your digits where I can see them.
Did you know around 1,000 species of bacteria live on human skin? At any rate, I am quite conscious, merely waiting. Sometime last year, I predetermined... Oh no. You know what they say about having too many totalizers on the same sum? Leslie Beckett, forgive me if... But now if I don't suppose you've stumbled upon any of our prior to the war, such focused study led to all manner of breakthroughs, with audio logs routinely kept by the scientician in residence. In these Oh no. Now, by my reckoning, the amount of logs to be collected is 4. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Impossible, I'm afraid. If you're determined, I recommend consulting with the presiding bishop on the matter. Don't we all? Everything. My word, you should have seen the debates over the shrubbery. Nothing beyond what I already included in my 165-page summary of the incident. Why do you ask? Of course I do. That is precisely why my energy is better channeled toward the future. To ensure such tragic events, Landon Wiley, were his methods wrong? Unequivocally. Should he have come to me with his concerns? Undeniably. But was his conclusion categorically sound? That remains debatable. Generally, yes. Although it's important to remember that unexpected But let's move on to other topics, please. All this fractious talk is... Cloister has 2 things in abundance: ice and geothermal power. Both made it the ideal location for the archive, and we've utilized its vast computational power ever since. Do you think it mere coincidence? But other stray inquiries occupy your mind. How do you know? I mean, that is quite the allegation. I deny it effusively. Oh, my chest. I'm either having another episode, or the hands on my mortal clock have ticked their last... Must breathe, old boy. In, out. There. Better. Now then, how in the Architect's Solution column did you acquire that? As you have cleverly sussed out, Laplace's garden is the subject of an experiment into social conditioning, or curating, if you will, through the use of therapeutic pharmacology. We have been administering a pharmaceutical to the population of the garden via the water supply that aids in emotional regulation. We call it perspective. It's odorless, harmless. Well, apart from the withdrawal, but I can assure you we have our best minds working on that little issue. Minor complication at worst.
Let this straight. You're here experimenting on folk freely, all the while calling us at Auntie's Choice barbarians for doing the same damn thing?
I beg your pardon, young miss, but it's hardly the same. This study was completely voluntary. The participants all gave their consent.
Yeah, I bet they did. Did you withhold research funding unless they signed up? Or did you feed them a story, like their participation is critical to some new advancements?
This experiment has the potential to improve Arcadian society 100-fold. Imagine the benefits of a self-sustaining city where all are content and serving the plan.
That's all I'm saying. Don't cry foul when you've got your own schemes going on.
then that is a failure on the part of yours and your colleagues' understanding. It's nothing to do with the Order, at any rate. I have no interest in debating the ethics of this experiment with a layperson. No offense. Oh, yes, I'm aware. Better to know the spy in our midst than receive a replacement more capable of evading notice. Besides, Miss Doyle's harmless, and she serves the best convictions at the parlor, bar none. Did she express that as her intention? You should do as she asks. Get her that sample. This is an unparalleled opportunity to see the shape of Sub Rosa's web. We only need plant the right fly. After collecting the sample, mix it with this liquid tracer. It'll make the drug functionally inert and allow us to track it wherever it shows up next. Not as such. Not at the moment. However, let me put it this way. Any potential for interference above null is worth keeping an eye on. I did not become the Oracle Laureate by getting caught with my pencil down.
I hope you have good news for me. I knew I had the right person for the job. You've saved me quite the headache. Your reward, as promised. Aw, wondering if you'll ever see me again? Precious. I'll remain in the garden a little while longer, but it would be best if we limited contact with one another. No offense. But who knows? The plan mystifies even the greatest minds. Perhaps our paths will intersect again someday.
Agent, over here. Ah, there you are. I was informed by Gertie you've agreed to help us reconvene negotiations. With your aid, Auntie's Choice and the Order will soon be rivals no longer. Just think of all we can accomplish if our two sides reject fractiousness and combine our efforts. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides. Engender trust. Gertie and I will let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
No admittance without the Artificer Laureate's permission.
A visitor? It's for the best that you're talking to me now instead of mid-work. I do seem to have a slight propensity for stabbing randomly with my tools when interrupted, but I suppose that's enough time spinning in the statements column. Speak away. What are you... Beckett. Another prediction that he hasn't seen fit to notify me about. A more cynical exemplar might posit his doing this to be intentional. If you're here, I imagine you aim to petition the presiding bishop for her support, which is hardly a surprise. She is the most important individual in Arcadia. Yet, most others with aims to rule it are filled with aspirations of grandeur. Ruth is the sole individual capable of interpreting situations objectively. The corporate invaders will suck Arcadia of its resources and cast it to the wind. And the Protectorate are no better than machines. Moreover, once we solve the universal equation, it will benefit all of humanity. You, me, everyone. No more suffering, no more doubt. Well, I hope you'll see in time. There is a task of pivotal importance to the Order, but I cannot entrust it with just any come-by-chance outsider. As head of the Order's exemplars, it's my responsibility to assess whose aims upon Ruth may be malicious. Prove yourself to me first, then we may discuss the rest. To the point. Very well. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there. From what I understand, Vicar Levin's continued existence is a mere side effect of whatever personal vendetta you happen to be attending to. I'm pleased he does not lie among the ranks of the dead, but I will need a more tangible effort on your part to trust you. If the Order could predict the future infallibly, my mentors would be alive. Seers become less accurate the more specific and more distant the prediction. All that aside, you shall need the Order's trust if you wish to see Ruth. This task will allow that. Journey to Newton. Eliminate the cultists to a person. Then we may speak of getting you an audience with Ruth. Newton contains the Six Pillars Chantry, which was one of the first temples founded after Arcadia's colonization. It's over 100 years old. The cultists are likely profaning it. But even if they aren't, I don't want them there. Our loss of Newton is symbolic. If we cannot protect it, how can we protect Arcadia? I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete.
Collect Azza from the ship first, unless you don't want the benefits of her inside knowledge of the cult.
like my faction accessories? Do they make me look handsome or too handsome?